Today we have a 2021 Mazda Miata. This is the ND2 generation, and it's the RF, so retractable fastback. And it's actually from 949Racing. These guys are some of the best experts in terms of setting up your Miata for track and performance street. They're actually helping me set up my own Miata, but this is their shop car, Huevo, meaning egg in Spanish. And I'm excited to tell you how this drives on the street. I will be reviewing this on the track later this year, so subscribe if you want to see that. We're of course powered by the 2-liter naturally aspirated inline 4, making 181 horsepower, 151 pound-feet of torque with a 7,500 RPM redline. Made it to a 6-speed manual transmission. Now the GT already comes with an LSD, but they swapped that out with an OS Gaiken, and they've actually done their own tuning with a shorter final drive. So if you look at the automatic NDs, those had a shorter final drive. They put the equivalent final drive in this OS Gaiken. This is the heaviest of the NDs. This is weighing in at 2,450 pounds. The reason it's the heaviest is that the GT adds something like 40 pounds over the Club and the Sport, and then the RF is of course heavier than the soft top. 91-inch wheelbase, approximately a 50-50 weight distribution, double wishbone front, multi-link rear, electric power steering. Now, extensive mod list you can find down in the description as always. We have Xida one-way adjustable coilovers, 12K, 6K front to rear, sway bars, SPL Sphericals. They're actually running a prototype BBK, not available yet. They're still doing tweaks and such. We have 18x9, 6 ULRs on 225 AO52 rubber. We have the offset knuckle bushings to get additional camber. In terms of power, we have a Fab 9 tune on E85. There's no flex fuel. We have cams and valve springs, as well as header, mid-pipe, and street muffler. And on the interior, we have Sparco Evo seats, a 330mm Guardian design wheel, and a custom roll bar, because the RF is generally not what you want when you're on track, because there's no good roll bar option, because this is not weight bearing, so you need to have a roll bar. But they did a great job of actually fitting a roll bar all the way up to the top, so that this is track worthy. Pops in this orange, splitter, wing, diffuser on the back as well. We've got our aero bits. This Miata means business. We have a harness, but we also have a 3-point. Generally do not want to be using a harness when you're on the street. And because this is the GT, we have auto climate control, which I think is pretty awesome. Also have the steering wheel spacer that 949 offers. So the owner, Emilio, is a taller gentleman with long legs. So as also a taller gentleman with also long legs, I am very much appreciating this. It's getting me into a much nicer position than in my Miata. Although this Guardian design wheel is a lot firmer than mine, which, you know, mine's too soft. I actually don't like mine, and it numbs out a lot of the steering feel. This one feels a bit firmer, still a little bit on the softer side. But let's see how that translates to the steering feel on the road. All right, this is no ordinary ND2, I'll tell you that. Really sharp turn-in, wow. Revving out to 8,000 RPM. You know, for a prototype BBK, this is actually feeling pretty good. I have this nice solidity, way better than my Brembos that came with the Brembo BBS Recaro package. Because of my pedal cam position, I'm not going to be able to left foot brake at all in this video. Wow, even the shifter, why does this feel closer to an S2000? This feels great. I'm really impressed. It has that extra mechanical feel to it. And also the shift knob obviously is also more reminiscent of something like an S2000 in terms of the shape of it. Engine way more fizzy too. That's one of the issues that I have with my ND3, is that the engine just, it's not quite as special as an S2000, but here, this transmission is feeling notably better. We're making more power, more aggressive cams. This feels great. Now, one thing I'm incredibly curious about, because by the time you watch this video, I will probably have updated you all on my build. One thing that I'm installing on my car, I'm upgrading from the Techna coilovers, which are the more budget street option, to the Xidas, which this is running, the one-way adjustable, also on the 12K, 6K front to rear. And I was wondering, like, how harsh is it gonna be on the street, because I drive my car on the street as well. It's not just on track. It's not as built as this car. But 12.6 is actually, on this road at least, feeling quite compliant. But keep in mind, it's not just spring weight, it's also the quality of the damping. And Xidas, they have really, really good damping quality. They are the benchmark amongst Miata owners for that reason. Full travel at the rear, that can be an issue with some other coilover options, but also high quality damping. It's quick, it's immediate. You do feel the road texture, right? You're not insulated, but it's fast responding, so it's not punishing, it's not as crashy. Even the steering here, I think part of it's the steering wheel, but also the bushings and such. It's a really sharp rack. Now, with the ND2s, you don't get quite the same level of feedback and texture through the wheel. So that is a little bit lacking here, but I like the weighting. I like how it bites. It has this very natural weight to it as you're on center, then you get off center. There's more feedback here than other ND2s, but notably less than the ND3s. Keep in mind, with the ND3, they made some revisions to both the E-Pass tuning, also they reduced the friction in the overall power steering system, so you have better signal to noise ratio and more feedback comes through. Nice double clutch there, natural throttle response even with the tune. That can sometimes get wonky with tunes. I keep shifting at 75, but Ed was telling me you gotta rev it all the way out to 8K. That's with the new tune. Oh, beautiful, so planted, really good body control. Pushing it past 7,500 RPM though, it does start to die off a bit. I'm quite impressed. Buckets are also a nice addition. I need to consider buckets in my car just because when you're holding these G-forces, you now feel fully supported. I feel like the Recaros from the BBR package don't fit my body type. I know some of you guys love them, and I would recommend that you sit in it yourself and see if you fit. I think they're better than the stock seats for sure. But the Recaros don't give me as much support as I would like, and they don't fit my back curvature. I actually get back pain until I have to do this whole seat lowering kit with the back raising kit from Jas, which it was quite an install, not an easy install, but now it fits me better, but still not perfect. But man, this car feels so much more alive when you just give it, the cam, the tune. That's one of the biggest issues that I have with my ND and NDs in general, which is that they don't feel all that special. The powertrain doesn't have that fizz, that emotionality, and this largely is resolving that. You're getting more power as well. And you combine that with an improved manual transmission, you're now inching closer to what I very much enjoy about a Honda S2000. The powertrain in the S2000 is the masterpiece there. This isn't to the same level, but again, we're inching closer toward that compared to a modern stock ND, whether that's the ND2 or the ND3, they have the same engine. Tons of grip, even on these 225s. We have aero as well, and that's going to come in handy on track. I'm actually quite excited to drive this on the track. This is probably my favorite ND Miata that I've ever driven. I just wish that it had better steering, and again, the steering here is not bad. It's actually quite a bit better than other ND2s because, alignment, getting additional caster, bushings, other supporting suspension mods, they all help. But the E-Pass just isn't where, it's not giving you all the information that it could. The level of confidence I have driving this car, it's so easy to hop in and just rip it. What up, R8? Ed was telling me that the brakes are prototypes and they're not great, and I'm not pushing them that hard, but in terms of the feel, I like that I have way more solidity and I'm still able to modulate them quite well. They're still very like pressure sensitive rather than position sensitive, which is what I prefer. It makes it much easier to heel toe and just drive a car harder and trust it more. Very neutral car as well. Trail brake it in. The tail's not overly eager to come out. You turn in, there's no hint of push. It just does exactly what you asked. There's no instability or weirdness at the rear axle. Yeah, I'm a fan. It's actually, there's not much to really critique here. Granted, this road is pretty smooth. The 12.6 is not nearly as harsh as I was expecting. But again, part of that, a large part of that, most of that even, is damping quality. Traction cut in there, quite prematurely. There we go. The ND3s also give you this DSC mode in the Club and the GT, which you don't actually want to use on a modified car because then the coefficient of friction with modified brake pads and such is going to be different. But that gives you, it's like partial traction, right? Rather than going fully on, fully off. You get that middle setting, which is another nice touch in the ND3s. Yeah, with the tune here, you still retain a lot of the throttle response and linearity. There's no funkiness, which I very much appreciate. You still need to blip your downshifts ever so slightly longer than you might in other cars. That's the same as stock. The cams and the tune make the engine feel more fizzy, which the Miata totally needs, but we're also getting a bit more power. It's about 15 to 20 more horsepower, which isn't a lot, and it doesn't transform the car, but it is a healthy bump when the stock example is only making 181 horsepower. I also really like the steering wheel. I'd still go a little bit firmer, just a touch, because like it's kind of inconsistent. Parts of where I'm squeezing are softer, and then they go harder. I feel like Guardian Design makes really good looking wheels, and the materials are quite nice, but in terms of the firmness, the consistency, that stuff is sometimes lacking. I do like this wheel more than mine. I think the 330, both this and mine are 330 millimeters, which I think is such a better size for the Miata, because having such a big boat steering wheel can feel quite awkward in such a small car otherwise. But yeah, very much a peak ND2. I think this car is actually quite excellent on street, and I'm really curious to see how it's going to handle on track, because everything that you want in a dual duty car actually here. I thought this car was going to be more optimized for track and be compromised on the street, but I'm pleasantly surprised how well it drives on the street. Although keep in mind, this is a smoother road, but still very impressed with this example of the ND2. I think clearly the guys at 949 Racing, they know what they're doing. I'm excited to try out their Xidas on my own car. I'm also probably going to get a steering wheel spacer as well, because for taller drivers it does improve the ergonomics quite a bit. And I need to figure out what they did to the shifter, because I'm really enjoying the feel of this as well. The engine mods, I don't think I can do on my car yet because the ND3 ECU hasn't been cracked, but once it is, hopefully I can do something similar. You can check out 949 Racing. Let me know what you think of this 949 Racing ND2 build with a comment down below. Big shout out to the 949 Racing team for letting me review their car. And if you want your car reviewed, visit us on JabalAndCars.com. Much love, my friends. I'll see you all in that next one.